Wow, what's up, my good people? This is your boy, Sauce Lord, with another video. I want you, to make this video, and I want you guys to start understanding jig selection when you're fishing for sac-a-lait, where you're fishing for them, and how you're fishing for them. And I'm also going to let you know which one of these jigs that I have caught the most fish on ever. I'm talking about, probably caught thousands of sac-a-lait off each one of these jigs. Thousands on each one, but one of them has caught multiple thousands. One of these jig heads. So let's go through them. We have big bite jig head. We have and look, it has one of the lead hook holders, just a lead hook holder. We have our death grip jig head. It has a ribbed lead hook holder. We have our crappie max 32nd ounce jig head. They're all 32nd, by the way. 32nd ounce jig head with 2 reverse hook holders. A Kalin's jig head 32nd ounce jig head with one reverse hook holder at the bottom. We have Eagle Claw jig head right here with a very small little tiny hook holder right there, a lead hook holder. And we have Bass Pro jig head right here with a little same thing. It's lead painted, and I guess you could call it a hook holder also. Now, what do we have the difference right here? Let's put it a little closer. What we have is hook size is the difference. This has been the bigger one. I usually do most of my vertical jigging with this right here. I usually don't put this on a stopper. This is for me casting out when big sac-a-lait chasing behind it. I want them to chase it, cover that hook, and hit. Now, I caught a lot of fish on this jig, by the way. Maybe not thousands, but I caught hundreds upon hundreds of fish with this jig head and hook right here. I'm talking about a lot of fish, man. Now, let's talk about the hook size and the sharpness of the hooks. Now, this death grip hook, this crappie max hook, and this Kalin's hook are sharp beyond measure. These hooks are sharp. I have to be careful when I'm putting them on because they'll go straight through you. Now, this what is this right here? This Cabela's Bass Pro brand hook is also it's sharp. It might not look like a sharp, but it's pretty sharp. Now, the one that's the least sharp is this one right here, and this is the Eagle Claw hook. And also, one thing about the Eagle Claw hook, I want you to notice, it is the hook size itself, the hook shank and the barb itself is really small compared to the Kalin's, compared to the crappie max, and compared to the death grip. It's clearly a smaller hook. So let me get it and I'll put it up against them so you can see. Look how small this hook is compared to those big guys. And this might be the reason I'm thinking that I've caught more sac-a-lait on this little small jig head and hook than any of these right here. And I catch a lot of fish on these guys. I could subtract this one because I don't fish with them a lot, and I love them. But for some reason, I just don't fish with it a lot. But these three here, I fish with these a lot. And I catch a lot of fish a lot. And they pull me away from this one because of the hook size. I like the hook size, and they catch a fair amount of fish. But when I think about how much fish I used to catch back in the day using these Eagle Claw hooks, what made me stop fishing with Eagle Claw hooks were they're not sharp like these hooks right here. You could just look at it and see. These Eagle Claw hooks are not sharp. These newer hooks that these people are making these days are far more sharper than the Eagle Claw hooks. But I think I've caught more fish on this one because of the size of it. I've also missed a lot of fish on this jig head because back in the day, I didn't know anything about taking the jig head, pushing it back a little bit. But even that didn't help a lot. I'm like, man, I caught so much fish with this jig head, with this jig hook right here. So many. And I just had a lot of disappointments with it also because it's not super sharp. Like I could rub it against right here, my hand. With those hooks right there, I can't do this right here. It'll get hung up on my hand every time, and it'll go through my hand. But but don't let that scare you away from these old school Eagle Claw set 32nd ounce jig hooks. They're really small, and I think fish, they see that small profile and they say, man, this is an easier target. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, let's just take this for example right here. This you know, this is a what's my favorite jigs, man? Dang on it, man. Little crappie jig. All right, cool. Check these out. Real small, right? So what I used to do back in the day, I'd take this small jig head and hook, and I put it on this right here, and I'd end up missing a lot of fish. I catch a ton, but I miss a few. But I had to realize why I was missing a few. The profile was too big for my hook. And sometimes I would even take, damn, that's the same color almost. But that's a Bobby Garden shad. That's bluegrass. And this is mermaid and a crappie magnet. This is a mermaid, but they're actually the same color. I'd also try to take these Bobby Garden shads back in the day and put them on these small hooks. Let me show you how that looks. Check it out. Now I got this big old giant jig, this 2-inch jig with this little tiny hook on here. Now what's gonna happen? A fish is gonna pull that skirt down easy. He's gonna engulf it. He's gonna miss it a lot. He's not gonna get to the top of this jig a lot. I didn't know that back in the day when I was fishing. So that's what I'm telling you now. See, this is the same crappie magnet as this. I just cut it down. And now I'm getting even more strikes and I'm catching more fish and I'm not missing as many fish. Plus I got that hook turned, the hook is turned up. See how this hook is straight? I hadn't took the hook and kicked it up, and you can tell I kicked this hook up right here. So that's all I wanted to let you guys know. Now see this Bobby Garden shad? It'll go good on any one of these hooks right here. I'm gonna put this on that death grip hook and watch the difference in the look. Now check that out. Check it out. I put it on a death grip hook and it looks better. And I'm gonna catch more fish because this hook is super sharp and the hook shank is a lot wider and it's stretched a little longer. So what I could do is I could jig with this with a stopper, or I could cast out and vertical jig with it. If I was to put that big jig on this Eagle Claw jig like I've done in the past, like I said, I've caught thousands of fish on it with this setup right here, with this jig and hook and this Bobby Garden shad on this. But I missed a lot, and I didn't know why I was missing fish, because my profile of the bait was too big for the jig. So also check this out. I went and downsized even with another jig. This is like a little baby brush hog. I forgot the name of them. That is an Eagle Claw hook, jig head and hook, very small, just like this one right here, the same one. So I switched it up and went and downsized on my bait, and I catch a lot of fish on this exact same bait. But what I did, just like I docked it on this one right here, and I took the profile down, I also took the profile down on this one. Check it out. I cut the tail off of it. When I cut the tail off, not only did I get more strikes, I start keeping more fish because the hook didn't get overshadowed by the tail. Sometimes that tail will flap up and get on the hook and you don't have a set. So yeah, man, it's all you can use a lot of different combinations, but always be careful of what you want to go out there and throw. If you're gonna go micro, go micro. Don't try to go with a micro hook and then go with a giant size bait, right? You want to take that bait and cut it down a little bit to match the hook. And I promise that your bites are going to go up, guys. Holla at your boy. The Adventures of Jig Pole Shorty on YouTube. Sauce Lord on TikTok. SauceBay225 on Instagram. Talk to your boy. See you later.